I took care of my husband who had cancer 4 different times over the course of 17 years. So I saw firsthand where all the potholes were in our fractured healthcare system. And it took me a long time to recognize that I had a new role called family caregiver. There are 50 million of us, but we really have had no voice up till now. So there's no care coordination to speak of. We're caught between running to the emergency room, readmissions to hospital, handoffs to rehabilitation facilities or nursing homes, and then patients are sent home quicker and sicker to us, family caregivers who have no training and who have lives of our own and often careers. Half of us work full time. So we must change this healthcare delivery, and let's hope that the new law will help us do that. It took me months to realize that I actually was the advocate for my husband, and without me or another family caregiver, he would have been at the mercy of being moved around from emergency room to admission to the hospital, 6 different doctors with different perspectives, off to a rehabilitation center, which is really a nursing home and perhaps ignored. I had to get to the point of being a fearless caregiver and say, no, this would be an unsafe discharge. My husband is not ready to leave the hospital yet. And to find out that that was my right. I'll never forget the day that the discharge planner, who reports to the business side of the hospital, basically it's the bouncer, and said, congratulations, Ms. Sheehy, your husband is ready to go home tomorrow. I said, home? He's been in the hospital for 6 weeks with double pneumonia. He's so weak he can hardly walk. She said, well, he'd probably qualify for rehab. I said, where do you get rehab? She handed me a mimeograph sheet of 30 nursing homes. I said, nursing home? Well, that's where they do rehab. But I had 24 hours to pick 3 of them and then figure out the difference between acute care, subacute care, or nursing home. I finally had to go to the doctor, the pulmonologist, and say, I don't understand this game. Could you give me the rules? And he told me how many steps my husband would have to make to qualify for acute care. 24 steps. If he could only make 15, he would go to subacute. So I went in the next morning with weights and said, it's showtime. And my husband said, what do I have to do? I said, you have to make 24 steps. We got up, we rehearsed for 4 hours, gave him a little nap, and by the time, the admitting committee came with their expressionless faces and their clipboards, he got up, he hadn't been out of bed hardly, on the walker and sailed out the door with 30 steps. And they said, you're in. Well, you shouldn't have to go through that. How can a layperson get educated in 24 hours about making one of the most important transfers in care? We need a care coordinator. It has to come from the hospital or from the doctor's office. But care coordination is the key reform that needs to be implemented with this new law.